Good afternoon and welcome to RCR Presents Real Discussions. I'm your host for today, Michelle Dusbert, and I'm super excited. Look at my...
I'm excited too.
I'm super excited to be here because I love these people, and we're missing a person, and we'll get into that. But I'm super excited because we're going to be talking about the thing that I love, which is music, in Atlanta. And I think these two people have a very good insight as to what's going on. But I want to thank all of the new listeners, all the people that are checking us out. This is all about the empowerment of women. That's what the brand is all about. We've been doing it for quite some time, and we do it through various different vehicles. We do it through community service, public speaking, mentoring. But this platform has been giving me a nice and warm feeling of late because I have an opportunity to bring those issues that concern us as women, talk about them, also create solutions for them. But then I also get to talk to interesting people like yourselves about music and things and the culture that's going on here in Atlanta. So for that, I'm very thankful for the opportunity to do so. But enough about me and enough about the brand. I want to talk to my people today. Today's topic is freestyling with the Slo Mo Team. Hi, Slo Mo.
What's up?
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, you're groggy.
I am.
You're
just slightly.
Just a little choked up.
The ice water helps.
Yes. So to my right, the beautiful and lovely Shantae Lagan. Hi, Shantae.
Hi.
I love that voice. Say hi again.
Hello.
And to my left is Lamar Shirley. Hi, Lamar's.
Show you right.
Yeah, listen, he's clowning and got something to say. We're missing a third person from Slo Mo. It's Carlton Hargrove.
Yes.
Hi, Carlton. We miss you today.
The heart of Slo Mo.
Yeah, right.
The center,
Yeah, he's the heartbeat of it all, and I like him so much.
We miss you, man.
We miss you. We miss you. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today, but sent his love and his blessings and everything and vibes here so that we can have our conversation. The last time I talked to you beautiful people, we were in a different location, different time. It was some things were slightly different. We're here now. But I wanted to talk to you today because the last time we talked about so many different things going on within Atlanta musically. A little bit about what you guys do. You guys kind of keep a pulse on what's happening with artists, underground artists, neo soul, soul, R&B, some hip hop, right? Just whatever's really going on in Atlanta. Right. You guys have been covering that just through your platform of having conversations because you've interviewed a great deal of people.
It's true.
While doing this, right?
Yeah. 4 or 5 years in the making.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of everyone has been on the show.
Well, in the actual publications, 6 years.
Right.
Yeah,
6 years. Mo Audio has been 5 years. And then, but between Carlton, Shantae, and myself, we've been all of us have been in Atlanta since the 90s. So,
late 90s.
So a lot of it, it's kind of build off from that. Our personal careers.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Covering it, whether we were working for publications separately or DJing. I mean, Lamaris.
I know.
That's been your contact with the world of indie music and soul and hip hop. Like, you've been spinning for how long? How long have you been spinning, man?
It's been spinning in Atlanta since probably around 98.
Wow.
Long
in Atlanta,
time.
but I've been DJing in general since probably like was like 13 or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah. It wasn't. When I was 13, though. When I was 13, it was totally different.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you just, but in Atlanta since probably like 98.
And and I don't even know how we all met. I don't.
I do. Blue Cantina.
Is that what it was?
I met you at Blue Cantina,
right,
in Castleberry.
Okay.
When Lamaris was spinning.
Yes, I remember how I met you, but how did I get to Lamaris? That's what
I don't know. Probably it was probably through some random event or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Probably.
My hustle was on. I was selling those shirts.
Yeah, but
I was selling the Real Chicks Rock shirts, and you bought the shirt and was sporting the shirts.
I wear the shirt.
You sure do.
I wear it all the time.
Thank you.
Bonnie wears it all the time. My wife.
Yes. Hi, Bonnie. Yes.
Hi, Bonnie.
Supporters. I remember you guys when you guys weren't a couple, so I must have been around for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So that's how it was. So, yeah, I was out probably selling my product. You guys, you and Carlton probably took a liking to the shirts, got involved, and I started just hanging out, like, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's how it happened?
That's how most people come into my life. I see them and before you know we just
we just kind of grow. But yes, to Shantae's point, you were at Blue Cantina spending on Fridays on Peter Street.
Yep.
And we used to have a good time, just like those couple hours you were spending.
Yeah.
It was like, woo.
Well, yeah, and it's weird because it's like I used to live over, and that's in the Castleberry.
Yes.
So I think I've DJ'd in almost every single place over there at one point, and that Blue Cantina just wound up being one of the places. Yeah.
So that's how it was. So that's where the love affair had started. So we had been together ever since then, and you guys were doing your podcasts or your interviews, and I used to come and be a studio audience member.
Yes.
Yep.
So I've seen a couple of the people you had the opportunity of talking to, and that was pretty great. So you guys are still podcasting and still talking to people. How's that going?
It's going pretty well. I would say that the cadence of it has changed. We decided to be a little more strategic in terms of making sure that we're syncing who we're interviewing with the actual publication. And so I would say it's probably been monthly or maybe even every other month that we've published the podcast.
Yeah, and that's a lot of it has to do with the. It's kind of also like she was saying is like the publication is actually evolving. You know, same way like I would say go as far as the same way with like in media in general.
Yeah,
it has to evolve, and so it's going to be even I guess if we can go ahead and just
let's go.
It's like it's growing and it's going to be larger.
Yeah,
and that's going to be we're excited about it, but that's also it. Because it's changing and growing, it's like it'll help with more audio and more actual other stuff that we're putting our hands in. It's kind of like building the culture up. So let's say that's the reason why like it went from like week,
oh my gosh, every week
monthly. We were doing it weekly. And it was
every week.
And and would you have like we also have a career.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then Michelle, you know about that.
Yeah.
It's like doing that, and then each of us having careers and DJing and life, and it's like and cooking breakfast. It's like
and getting married. Like
it's important.
It's something how life does kind of. I won't say get in the way because that's not
right.
That's not it. But it's a matter of incorporating it and making it a priority and still managing to pull all these things together. I mean, you do have to make a living. You do have to go to work for now. The 9 to 5, and so you want to make sure that you're just keeping your passions alive. And I think that Lamaris, Carlton, and myself have made a pretty conscientious decision to keep doing some of these things, even though we're working the day gigs.
Yeah. It's hard in the sense because your passion won't leave you alone.
No, it won't. It won't.
It won't leave you alone. So even though you say, that's enough, we're not going to do that anymore, your creative juices start to think about, well, I still want to be a part of it in whatever capacity. So then you think of different ways that you could still be connected still have this prioritization of everything else that goes on into your life, because it is we're older now, right? As decades roll on or years go on, our priorities changes, and we just want to make sure that we have a good balance of everything. But I think the things that we're passionate about in this platform for me is, one, it feeds the soul.
Yes.
So it's about doing the things that continue to feed your soul so that you can continue to be Lamaris and Shantae, and Carlton can be Carlton. And I think for us, it is about music, right? For you guys, it is about music. It's always been about independent artists.
Yeah.
You guys have always had a platform to allow people to come, to be interviewed, to share new music, to talk about it. You guys have been always insightful about the music itself. You guys never, sometimes you agree, and sometimes it was fair to disagree on new music, old music, new artists, sounds, and things of that nature, right? Would you?
Yeah, I think for the most part, we tend to. Well, one, because I think we're such good friends. We're like family.
Yeah,
So
you are
it's like,
family.
even when I think that we might have a different viewpoint of things, we each respect each other's opinion and viewpoint on it.
Yes.
And then I'll just say to even step back from earlier what you said is luckily, I think all three of us, even though we have a passion for what we do, we're still, or even our day jobs, kind of like we're involved.
Yeah.
Still active,
Yeah, that's great.
luckily. So it's like we are living it.
Right.
It's like,
right.
But I think also, it's like the positive and negative of living it is it's like you get more things are piled up onto your lives that are involved in it. I know, at least for me, it's like I look at like even my work with other artists as an extension of Slo Mo.
Right.
And it becomes like it's a lot. It's a lot. And so it's like really it is about prioritizing, but also it's like I don't bring everything of my personal work to Slo Mo, but then there's certain things I'm like, okay, we need to all be on top of this and involved in this.
Yeah.
Because it'll make it even much better. Like kind of like we're like Transformers.
Yeah. The things have changed. Even when I came into your lives a couple of years ago, there seemed to have been more concerts, more shows, more record sales. We were still talking record sales somewhat then. Now it's everything streaming, right? This whole, there's a conversation about FM radio and the direction of radio versus satellite versus streaming versus podcasting. Like there's so many different platforms now. At the end of the day, we're doing all of these different things. Is it really creating money and monetizing? That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But for you guys, how do you guys continue to fit in like these different platforms? I know you guys are podcasting. Are you guys thinking that you need to increase or decrease the number of podcasts that you do, or to just stay relative, or what? What's your thoughts?
I think that we've talked to a lot of people who are kind of the backbone of the Atlanta music scene. I mean, and I give credit to Lamaris and Carlton big time, because these are people that you guys can like literally go on your phone and just say, hey, can you come on this show? So I think that any forward moves are somewhat a look back, and people who are still making contributions, and a lot of those folks are that we've talked to over the past 5 years. But I think it's also looking forward to who is going to be the next, who are going to be those people that are making new lanes, in terms of independent music, soul. And so that's kind of what I see for the next few shows, the next few years of Mo Audio. I don't think it's a decrease. I think it's tying things back to the publication.
Got
you know
you.
what I mean? And just like making sure that people get information in the way that they want it, because we know that's the name of the game.
That's the name too.
In the day job, right? Like that's a big part of what we talk about is how are you delivering information? If somebody prefers to get it on their phone, then you got to make sure you're there. If they want it in a print publication, you got to make sure that you do that too. So I think that's kind of where
that's
it's
the
at.
driver.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I would even expand upon that. I think that it's also important, and I think some artists get this and some artists don't, and some products and companies, whatever it is understanding who your brand, what your brand is, and like who your market is. And I think sometimes what happens is some products, brands, artists, or whatever, it's like there's nothing wrong with growing and expanding, but sometimes you get so far from
Yeah.
who you are,
Right,
what
right.
it is,
Yeah.
then it becomes diluted. Where I can actually say is like, because the Slo Mo audio it's really it is really more of like, it's soul culture, but it's also our taste. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, so as long as we stay within who we are, it's usually,
That's a good way to put it.
you know, I think that we're usually pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, but then it also mean it becomes also like a situation of like how we met you. It's like you meet a person, you meet an audience, and
Yes.
you build from there. And you're like, oh, I like what you like, and then like, you know, then you bounce on
I do.
ideas,
I
and
do.
then you go from there. So while it's like some people, they'll create a product and they'll throw it out to the masses, and they're like, well, I'm not reaching 1 million people, but guess what? You might have reached 1,000 people that are your core audience,
That's
that are
right.
keep on building, and then those people will be introduced to there and there and there. So it's like understanding how your growth is. You know, we thought at one point, you know, and a lot of companies are like this. We're like, oh gosh, the numbers are not.
I was
you know.
big on that. I was like, can I see some numbers?
Yeah.
Can I get some, downloads and some viewer or listenership? I was big on it.
And then you start feeling. Then you're looking at the numbers and you're like, wait a minute, it's these same 500 people.
Right.
And then that 500 will start growing to like 550, and you're like, it's these same 550 for 2 weeks. And then you're like, hey, it's the same 1,000 people. Then you're like, wait a minute. This is a trend. Not bad. This is not a bad thing.
Right.
No.
You know, where it's like, you know, we've all worked in like publications, and the problem that has happened with magazines and media is it's like, you know, you're printing up like, say, 1 million copies, but there's only like 30,000 are getting bought.
Yeah.
Now, see, the problem is it's like the problem is they keep on printing 1 million copies instead of saying, you know what, I'm gonna take these 30,000.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
You know,
That's
and
it.
I'm going to make them those 30,000 people so happy. I'm going to give them all what they need, and I'm going to pull back and grow in a different.
There you go.
Different aspect.
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
understand my lane.
Right.
But everybody wants to go for like, I'm just going to print that million, and then you're not reaching it.
Yeah.
So it's. I think we're fine with where we're. I think we're more than just fine. I think we're happy.
I think
with
you are.
Yeah.
You're ahead of the curve because you're dealing with the realities and the fact, and what Shantae is saying. We have to give the people what they want when they want it,
Right.
Yeah.
and not out of habit or just because this is what we're used to doing. You guys have shifted and pivoted and changed with the culture and with the times.
Well, and one simple thing that I feel like is the essence of soul culture, and even with what you're doing, is that because I feel like that I consider that part of soul culture is it's a little bit. The information is more timeless. So it's
I
like
love that.
So what happens is
I
so
love
what happens
that.
is like if we put a podcast from like the first season
I know that's right.
and put it up right
right.
now,
I know that's
that
right.
information is still relevant.
It's true.
Where it's like
Ooh.
I've noticed it's like nothing against
It's
a lot
true.
of a lot of the trendy music.
Understood.
It's like, I mean, I always say it like this. It's like, do you really want to hear a Soulja Boy song next?
But you know what?
I mean, I'm not dissing Soulja Boy. I'm just saying, it's like, if you're
We sliding right in there, ladies and gentlemen. We sliding right in. Yes.
If you're doing something trendy, you gotta constantly do something.
Right,
trendy.
right.
It's like you gotta constantly do this, you know. And it's like, you know, you don't.
So you mean Lil Nas X is not going to be popping?
Ooh, here we go.
I'm
Here we
hoping
go.
he grows and evolves.
Here we go.
And I'm fine with him making his money, and more power to him. Seriously, more power to this
Yeah,
young
I
man.
agree.
And
I
more power
agree.
to Soulja Boy, all these cats.
I agree.
I had to evolve on my mentality on that.
I understand.
It's like if you want to be trendy, fine. Boy, you means you got to constantly stay trendy.
Constantly.
And it's like, but
So you just have to be on. You have to be on it. Like it's more. Would you say it's more of a grind? Because you have to constantly stay trendy. You have to
you do.
constantly be on the pulse.
It's also hard to be yourself when you're being trendy.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
it's
You're
just
right.
like,
You're right.
I like being myself and not having to jump with the trend. And
You're
stay,
just being you.
It's like, because what if the new trend is something? Well, my personal feelings feel like it's corny.
Yeah.
It's like it's whack. Like I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta start rapping rapping Duke now. Like is everybody gonna start doing this? Do I have to go daha daha?
Right.
Because that's the trend. And you see it a lot with rappers, and I feel for them. I feel for like an aging rapper who said if I was talking very intellectual now, do I have to slur my words? Do I have to do this to stay relevant?
I think,
and with soul music, I don't think you have to do that.
No, you don't.
You don't, but it also brings it back to what we were saying earlier in terms of you're always going to have that core audience. You're always going to have those people who love whatever you're doing. I'm thinking about Styles P and, like, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be into this, right? But he has a lane. Like he has a lane, and it's some getting high music. Ooh. Like this is, I mean, no respect.
No, we talking.
But that's what it is. Like, and there's always going to be somebody who wants to hear that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And does his style have to switch up? No, not necessarily, because it is what he's known for. That's what he's doing.
But it's to your point. Like, I don't want to hear Styles P trying to rap like
there you go,
Little Baby.
Got you.
Right.
Got you. Got you.
So like, I don't think people want to hear the Mo Audio Slo Mo start to try to act like a company, somebody that we're not.
That you're not.
Sure.
So let me ask you this, since we're talking about trends and things like that, because one name comes to mind. When 2 Chainz came on the scene, was he trendy?
2 Chainz.
And is he trendy now?
I think that. Yeah, because I want to say he had a different style.
I'm rare. I mean, I love that song.
Okay.
I think that
I'm different. He's like, I'm different.
I think that but I mean, my thing is, because I don't find anything wrong with 2 Chainz. I think that's his
fashionably trendy.
Thank you.
That's a good way
Thank you,
of
Mike,
saying
my engineer.
And,
thank you.
But then it's like, as you grow and evolve as a certain person, it's like, is he going to always have to? Is he going to have to stay with every trend? It's kind of like this. It's like, you ever see these memes and they'll say this is like, a 45-year-old man should not be the same way as he was as a 25. Like it's like if he's there's nothing wrong with evolving,
right?
You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between evolving and jumping on youthful.
Okay.
Full trend.
Fair enough.
You're like, and I think that's the thing about it. Is like there's nothing wrong with evolving.
Okay, so he evolves. He's evolved. Okay, that's fair. Because he's doing songs with Ariana Grande, so he's got a song with her. So that's charting in more of a pop type of situation. Yeah, well, I mean, which when he first came out, that wasn't the case.
Everyone needs an entry point. You know what I mean? I think 2 Chainz gives people an entry point. Like he makes it accessible. He makes hip hop culture accessible. And I say hip hop culture in a very broad
I see it on your face.
And so it makes sense that he's doing a record with Ariana. It makes perfect sense. Okay. It makes perfect sense that he has a television show, most expensivest, right? Like it makes sense because he's an access point. And I think that you need that. I mean, do I want to be that? Maybe not. Is that what I would expect from, maybe a more critically acclaimed artist? No, I don't know that I would expect that. But by all means, like he's doing his thing and he's giving people that access. He's giving them a way to participate in the culture.
I have probably a different view.
Of course. Of course you do. That's what I said at the beginning, that we will agree to disagree because we have different points of view. Go. Yes, sir.
I tend to think like this. When you're, say for example, when a network is over you, or like for example, I've worked in magazines where they have their perception of our culture might be different than what our culture is. So if they might grab you to be like this. You know what? She'll be good to sell this culture to this group of people.
Okay.
So I think 2 Chainz, his show or whatever, is selling to a group of people that envision him in a certain way.
Gotcha.
And it's do I say it's a good way? I don't know. I haven't watched the show.
I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, I like the show.
So it's like so it might be a great show, but I'm just saying it's like
Mike likes the show too. Mike likes.
I mean, it's interesting. It gives. I mean, it's legit interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So without even seeing the show, is like all I'm saying is like the the network might be wanting to present him to a certain market. And I think that's the reason why some people grab. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I think this is done with music forever. It's like, you know, like Rakim was on Jodie Watley. She wanted to reach a certain market.
Yeah.
Right. You know,
Oh, you went back.
Like, it happens forever. You know, if you want some, I think that if you are a pop artist and you want some street cred,
Sure.
or vice versa, if you are a hip hop artist who has street cred and you want to reach a pop audience, you will be like a T.I. and be like, Justin Timberlake, please get on my record.
Right.
You know, I
Word
get it.
up.
I mean, I see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with it, and I think that there's something sometimes good that comes out of it.
Yeah,
I
true.
love that track with JT and T.I.
I do too.
Love it.
True.
That's the reason why I thought about it. It's like,
True.
But see,
I do too.
You know?
I do too.
And it's the same thing too, though.
You have to do
I
it
do.
right.
You
have
do.
to do it
You
right.
do.
And it's the same thing too. Is like, you know, if you are a pop artist who you don't feel like that you've been taken seriously, you go sing a soul song. You know, you bring that
Right.
one person who's known as the soul artist, and
Right.
That's true.
You know, you bring them on, and then before you know it, you're invited to sing at Aretha Franklin's funeral. So I mean, it's just like I mean that's how it happens. Is it a bad thing? I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just about how we approach it. You know, it's like I don't want to. You always have to be careful that you don't become a culture vulture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Come on, Dan
you don't
Dash.
you don't want to gentrify the culture.
Come on, Dan
No.
Dash.
Yeah,
No.
you know, yeah, you just have to be careful. So I don't. 2 Chainz, more power to him. Make your money. You know, I mean, hey.
All right. So festivals, it's that time of
Yes.
year, right?
Yes.
It's hot in Atlanta. It's hot. It is July and it is steaming in here. And so it's this time of year where there's a lot of outdoor festivals that are going on. Some are free, you know, some are just things at the park and things, and some are not. And so over the past couple of years, these festivals that used to be maybe a day are now like 2 days. Early bird tickets, all that, and then you don't know, you know, get on board with the early bird tickets, and then we release the names after, and then you're like, and it's a plethora of people. It's a lot of people that's scheduled to come and perform for like 2 days. Personally, this is me. I'm agree to disagree right at the gate. I liked it when it was just 1 day. I like 1 day festivals.
Now, why is that?
Because I don't want to be out there for 2 days.
You want to see who
I
you
just want
came to see?
1 day.
Okay.
Right. Just
Okay.
give me multiple stages, 1 day. I do what I need to do.
Right.
Then I'm out. I don't
Right.
want to have to come back out there again in the sun, check my schedule to see, because oftentimes than not, when it is a hodgepodge of artists, a lot of people, some are indie artists that we don't know,
Right.
but that's where you raise the awareness, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
going to festivals and hearing them, you're like, wow, I never heard of this person. They sound really great. So no diss to anybody that's indie. No, it's a great opportunity. But my thing is, it's a lot. It's like a smorgasbord. I'm like, I got to be here for 2 days. I don't know. I want to hear this person at 1, this other person's at 8, then the other person's the next day. And it could be just me and what I like. And maybe it's limited because
Yeah.
it's just so much. Shantae?
I'm with you. Like, and to be honest, I think that you have to be into festivals too. And
I am for a day.
You know, I think that it can make a lot of demand on your time,
Right.
on your energy. But you know, we live in that kind of world right now. I mean, you have these long held events, you know, like a Bonnaroo or like a Coachella, and these are multi-day events, you know, and I think that there's even a culture that's popped up around them. You know,
Right,
you have
right.
brands that are packaging clothing according to get your festival look together.
Right,
you know?
right.
And I think that there's use for it. As you said, you have an opportunity to give audiences a broad swath of sampling,
yeah,
right?
music.
Entertainment. You know, the 1 to 2 days, I also, as a promoter, I imagine you're trying to make sure that you make good on your costs. And you want to give people something to see that's worth that ticket price.
Right.
And so if I've got, you know, 20, 30 people that I'm bringing, it's probably impossible to do it in 1 day. And I'm going to charge you for the fact that it's a 2-day, 3-day festival. You know what I mean?
Concerts and festivals have gone up because record sales are no more, right?
Because that's
They don't make their money through sales of record because people are not doing that.
Right.
Everything's streamed for free.
That's
so now when people come to town, you're going to pay for that.
Yes and no.
Oh, right. Come on.
Well, no,
I'm
because
slow-mowing.
I think it goes back down to who your audience and who your market is.
Okay.
I work with a lot of soul artists, like as far as on their product or whatever. And say for example, if your audience is 18 to 34, yes, that's streaming. 34 on up. Guess what? They're buying CDs at your show.
Yeah.
They and not that they want it signed, but it also goes back to what I was saying. It actually goes back down to what I was saying before about this core audience.
Yeah.
About who you know your market is. So if you're dealing with soul performers, people want to buy that product. They want the hard copy, and they want it. A lot of times they want it at the show. So you kind of need that. And one person who was wise and kind of got that a long time ago was Prince. Prince did that. It's weird. One thing, and I'm just gonna touch on that, but it goes to performances versus shows. So Prince, Billboard, which can be either like a saint or Satan in one way, is he was the first one who really started doing where when you would buy a ticket price, you would get a CD.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So what happened was when he started doing that, every week he was going like being in the top 10 number one. Yeah. And they were like, well, wait a minute. The record industry, we got to stop doing it. We have to change this up. And they stopped it for a while. And now then they restarted it again. But now it's back in a weird way because, say, for example, like a DJ Khaled was mad because if you got like an energy drink, you got his CD. So they do these bundles.
Right,
which changes it all up. And now he was like, well, we sold, wait a minute, so many energy drinks. We should be number one. Well, guess what? Somebody still bought more of Tyler.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it really depends on who your market is, what you're selling, how you're bundling it or whatever. Now, as far as like what you're all saying about the multi-day, I'm very up and down on it because say for example, I mean, Atlanta Jazz Festival's been around forever and it was multiple days.
That's true.
But you still had the same situation before where it's like,
also free.
It's also free, but you still had the same issue before. It was like there was times where I wanted to see certain people perform, certain people perform. I couldn't get over to,
the stage,
one stage in time to go see. You're always doing that. Now, I think that with a lot of the festivals around that are 2-day, it's like I wish there was more of an option of just buying. I think that some of them do.
Yeah, they do. Some of them
do like the 1 day. You can buy just the 1 day ticket, and it's usually super duper high. But the problem it is.
It's not a deal. It's
not really a deal. You might just go and buy the 2 day.
Full 2 day.
He said super duper high.
The next day, whatever they do, whatever you don't want to see.
That's funny. My issues with the 2 days is like man, I gotta quit waiting until the last the day before to tell me the schedule. Right. It's because it goes.
I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that for events that have been going on for a while.
Okay.
So one music fest, you've established that you're going to bring some real heavy hitters. It's going to be a great show.
Gotcha.
You're going to enjoy the venue. Maybe you're going to enjoy just being there among all the people. So Jay, I feel like did a great thing. Like, yeah, I'm going to get you to buy your tickets. I'm going to make sure that I have a baseline to work from because it's an established event. I can trust it. Don't come to Atlanta, never having done a festival before, and be like, I don't know who's coming. That's going to be a problem for you.
Well, yeah.
It's going to be a problem. You're not going to sell any tickets.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that I enjoy One Music Fest. I go.
It's really really good.
And we had talked off of the air before about, and this is not well, it might be a diss, but it might not be a diss. It's like I liked old music Midtown better than I do current music.
I loved old music Midtown.
Yeah.
So not all growth is really that great, but I think a lot of it has to do with when you start getting, and this is the fear of every brand known to man, every single brand known to man. Once you start getting other outside money going into it, they want things done a certain way. So Music Midtown has it's it's corporate sponsors or whatever. It's like NASCAR. It's like, you know, I'm surprised that the artists aren't wearing like, you know, this stuff. It's you know, so everybody wants to be happy, and I get that. But it also alters like, you know, the essence of the festival. Luckily, I think you still feel the soul of One Music Fest through Jay Carter. It's like you know, you go to the festival, you be like this.
Big time.
This is Jay's taste.
Yeah.
You know, this is, you know, and that's cool.
And it's good taste.
And it's good taste. It's good taste. You know, and it's like the and it's cause it's kind of even like with last year, because people will be like, say, what was your favorite stuff? And I'm like, you know, I like that Atlanta set. And then people are like, what? But you're such a soul guy. I was like, well, it all comes from soul. And I said, and plus it reminds me of my days, you know, kicking it at 559.
Oh, Lord. Oh, don't get him started, folks. Don't get him started on.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
You know, him and Carl.
Yeah. Scooching up in
the
seat.
corner somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
But, you know, it gives the feel of Atlanta. So
I miss that. I miss that part of it.
Now, you know, but there's a festival, everything. I really cannot say that I've ever been to, like, I've never been to Shaky Knees.
I haven't either.
I've never been to Shaky Beats. I've never been there either. I've been to A3C. I like some.
Yeah, I like
stuff.
A3C. A3C is
been to
dope.
some of this stuff. So I like the festivals, you know, and I'm working. I've worked on a couple
You know what
festivals.
though? That's interesting. The multi-day. When you asked the question, I automatically went to say Music Midtown. But A3C
is
multi-day, but it's a conference. It's not. I mean, it's a festival, I suppose, but it has speakers. It has, you know, activations elsewhere, and like it's not just all music. And so, I would make that distinction. I like A3C being multi-day because it is more. I'm not just buying a ticket to come see some artists. Like there's some other things going on.
Right.
So that's an important
Okay. You just had to get that out.
Yeah, I had to get that out.
I
was thinking about that.
Thank you. It was a burning inside of you. She had to get it out. And I think it was a great segue because I want to talk about DIY, right? I want to talk about that. What created or stimulated the vision or the concept for that for you guys? First of all, tell everybody a little bit of what it is, and then how did it come about?
I'll let you.
Well, DIY Soul.
You did a really great video about it.
Hey, thanks.
She did. It was cute.
Thank you.
Yes.
It is really about artists focusing on the business of their art. You know, giving folks some information that can help them to accelerate what it is that they're doing. And I feel like I'm talking a little corporate right now,
you're
but
fine.
It really is about that. You know, I think that so often we have folks who are doing music, who are doing things in the industry, but maybe don't have that one piece of information that's going to take them to the next level or just help them to create a better product, because at the end of the day, that is what it is.
Yeah.
And so that's what DIY Soul is. That's what it is that we are looking to do, is to give people information that can help them just get a little better at the business portion of their art.
Yeah, because there's, you know, one thing that we've seen through our time of doing Slo Mo Audio, and even just in working in media in general, is you would be surprised how many artists, they make this great album, but they don't know how to like to do a press release. They don't know how to shop it to promoters to get booked. They don't know how to get on like a national tour. They don't know how, you know, there's certain things they don't know how to do, like how to like upload their own social media. Like you'd be so shocked.
Basic things.
So then they get discouraged. They're like, I got this great album, and you know they get frustrated, and you're like, well, you know, there's more to it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with, it's like understanding the brand, who your market is, and how to reach them. So what we envision with the conference is to help artists with that.
Right.
You know?
I mean, and I thought it was very encouraging to get the support that we did from people who are willing to share the information. You know what I mean? Like I felt really good about that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It's like, you know, having attorneys who are there and willing to talk to you about how to license your music, how to make sure that things are copywritten, you know, some of the issues that you may face in contractual situations. You know, as you say, touring, how to do that, what to expect. You know, it's good information.
Well, and only even on that was like with, for example, with Atlanta and the movie industry growing. There's a lot of artists who have music. They don't know how to get it placed.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, it's needed.
Yes,
you know,
it is.
It's like,
it is.
And there's so many artists who are sitting on albums or music that's been around for like, they might have a great song that's been around for like 10 years. And a lot of times it's kind of like I think the artists forget that as soon as you create a song, you've created an intellectual property, and they don't understand.
That's nice.
Yeah, they don't understand that with this intellectual property, you can utilize it in so many different ways. You can remix it, you can sell it, you can put it in movies, you can put it in ads. You can there's so much you can do with it. But a lot of times we get so frustrated because the song's done, and then they don't know what to do with it.
So when you say they don't know what to do with it, Lamaris, do you think that there's a difference between a hobby and an actual career? Like, do you think there's a difference? Because I mean, I do. I think that there's a difference.
I think so. And if it's a hobby, then the conference probably might not be for you. I think that if you want to live this,
right,
you know what I'm saying? It's like if you want to make it a part of your existence. Like, I can honestly say, when it comes to like soul culture or whatever, you know, as a designer, as a graphic designer, as a DJ, it's a part of my career. It's my life. So it's like, I'm living this. But I think a lot of times with artists, it's like, if you were just making a song, making an album, just so your friends can hear it, so be it.
Hey, I did it. I did it just to do it.
But you
know, I wasn't trying. I'm not.
And that's fun.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah, and that's fun. And it's a good song.
We'll come back to that.
And it was a good song too.
Thank you.
And but then I think but there are some people who I think it's like you kind of touched on. It's like that. I think that it's just you know, a hobby. It's just a fun thing to do.
But
it's like
and that's fine.
You know,
and that's fine.
Like
it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing.
It's a very competitive market, just like becoming an actor, getting into the music industry in any form or capacity. It's overwhelming. It can be. It's very competitive.
And I
from
yes and no.
From writing, from DJing, from artistic, from producing, from promoting to, like, I create this song. How do I get it on an ad? How do I get it on the movie? How do I? It's so intimidating. Can be.
Well, no, okay. That now
can be.
No, it can be intimidating. I think it's like this. That's one thing too that when it comes to the conference, I'm hoping that maybe it will come to light is one, you know, knowledge of something opens doors.
Yes, true.
It does.
Correct.
No matter what it is.
And it's like, I think that sometimes it's like this. Another problem that I think a lot of artists is like some artists who do take it seriously think that they're going to do an album and become Beyonce.
Right.
And I think that it's very important to live it, love it, and then know your path. You know, it's like your path is like your path in life. It's like, and when you're living it and loving it, I don't think that it can. I don't know. I can't say it's going to always be like stressful. Right. It's like, I mean, because at the end of the day, like, I love what I do, but I don't feel like that. I don't look at it as I don't look at what I do as a competitive mindset. Gotcha. It's like whenever I hear about like DJs getting picked up for gigs and like or big gigs, they're like, somebody like, oh man, how do you feel about that? Oh, it's great for them. Yeah. I know my lane. Right. You know, I know my path. Now, probably not everybody feels like that.
Yeah. Lamaris, you're really photogenic. Like, I'm just looking. I'm like, look at this.
She needs to cut that.
This is great.
Stop. Yeah. Cut it. Mike, tell him to stop. Cut it out. So, I'm going to digress a second. You did a song.
I did. I did.
What? You did a song.
I did. I mean,
and I've not heard it.
Some Instagram footage.
What?
That is crazy. I used to run with the crew in North Carolina, and it's me freestyling.
I knew that.
With this, I mean, and I was just like, are you kidding me? It was so crazy to see this footage.
I knew you had hip hop in you, but
yes, but this song was also, it was me rhyming, but it was a little more of a rock oriented track, because I mean I love all types of music, and so that's what that song was. Yeah, right. I mean, I was just glad to do it. I wanted to put something out, and so I put something out. But Lamar's is the same way. Lamar's has whole productions.
Don't be passing it on to him yet. I'm still over here with you. You over here sing. I gotta hear it. When can I hear this?
I will share it. I'll share it with you.
Yeah, when we're not on live. Okay. Yeah. All right. I know Lamar's is multi-talented. He's one of my favorite DJs.
Well, thank you.
Lamar's.
I like Lamar's.
Well, thank you.
You make me party. You do.
That's it.
You make
That's
me,
it.
You make
Thank
me
you
dance.
very
I have
much.
a good time every time you're on.
Well, I would say this one thing that I'm putting this out there to the universe is I'm happy that I'm getting more opportunities to spin vinyl.
Yeah.
It's like
He rolled his eyes. You couldn't see him roll his eyes. You like vinyl, yes,
I
yes.
do like vinyl. I like old vinyl. I think that it's, there's something about it. It's something about being able to find a song on a record. I mean, find a song on the record,
right?
That that really wasn't
right.
Wasn't like a big pop hit. And you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I remember when I found either my mom or my dad's Isley Brothers album that had Footsteps in the Dark. Is that the
Yes,
song?
yes.
And at the time, of course, like I said, I'm a hip hop head. So I was like, Ice Cube. Like I had no idea who had produced that original song. Yeah. And so to hear this track, my mind was blown. I was just like, oh my gosh. And I bring that up to say that was vinyl. It was on vinyl.
Let me ask you, Shantae, and I might have asked before, but it's been a minute. You being a hip hop head, what opened you up to appreciating neo soul and just all the other kind of music you like now?
Being from Chicago is kind of, I have to go there.
Okay.
Because even though I'm a hip hop head, my first real connection to music was house. And so, and Chicago house is going to have a very musical element. It's going to be very, it's soul. It is soul music. It's disco. It's dance, it's just boogie, like it's everything. And so that's, I think, the foundation. And then too, like growing up where I did, I was very fortunate to grow up in Oak Park, Illinois, which is like literally right outside of the city. Yeah. And so a very diverse set of people, friends, influences. And so that's where you get some of the rock elements. But so to answer the question, I mean, I think that growing up in Chicago and having that influence of soul music through dance, through the musicality of house, is kind of the ultimate foundation. And then just through writing and creative expression is where the hip hop came in. Yeah.
Ashante. Lamar's touching records and music since 13. Why? What happened? You had to fill in for somebody?
He did.
It was an accident.
I remember.
My mother, my mother was a nurse, and she always had to work the night shift. And my father was basically his friend was DJing for it was like a New Year's Eve party. So my father had to babysit. I was like 13, and he wouldn't which 13 you should be able to stay home.
You should kind of sort of depend upon who the child is and the situation and the environment.
Yeah, but he was like, you're gonna come with me.
He's 12.
But he was like,
he's getting there.
But he was like, you're gonna come with me. So came with him, and the DJ, it was New Year's Eve. So after a while, the DJ was a little tipsy.
He was a little tipsy.
Yeah.
Had a little summer drink.
And he was like, boy, you been watching me all night. Go and spin. And I still remember, like, I got up there and spun a song, and I just loved how they were. Yeah. But I think a lot of it had to do was everybody was drunk. Yeah. So looking back,
What was the first song? You remember? What was your first song?
Yeah, it was was it Sarah Smile?
Yeah, Hall of Notes.
Yeah, which makes no sense. 'Cause I followed it up with like One Nation Under a Groove. It was like
He was all over the place back then.
Yeah, but you know, it was like people
were
were
drunk. You was playing what you liked.
I did, and they thought I think it almost kind of like it was like a novelty seeing a little kid up there playing music, playing records,
right?
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't like DJing, like I wasn't flipping back.
No,
and forth.
no, it's just playing the records, placing the needle on the record.
The needle record,
Yeah,
play.
selector.
And, and loved it, but then from there it's like I wasn't getting like regular gigs. That was just one thing I was like. After that, I was like, I'm gonna learn, and I would try to do it in my house with with the big console, and it didn't work.
Didn't work, right.
You had to learn. I had to learn what it was. And I remember when I went out and bought my own turntables. I was probably like maybe a sophomore in college, and then it was just like I loved it.
Lamars, I think that it's interesting though that those two records, when you were just starting out, I mean, one of the things that's very distinctive about your style is that you could combine that. Mm-hmm. Like you could make that work now.
Yeah.
Sarah Smile and One Nation Under a Groove. You will figure out how to make it work.
I think it goes also similar to what you were talking about, where your environment, how you went through music, or even like even with Carlton, who's not here, how he went through music. So
should I mention Gary, Indiana,
on
behalf of Carlton?
Yeah, Midwest. I was thinking Midwest when he was talking.
If you have to look at, like, say for example, my age group, late 40s, getting on closer to the 50s, and the way music was, radio stations back then was it was like you had radio. Now the larger cities you had black radio, but like in Kentucky you just had radio. So it was like you would literally hear like Kenny Rogers followed up by Stevie Wonder. Followed up by followed up by the Doobie Brothers. So it was all these different type of stuff. And then as hip hop came in, you started hearing like these hip hop songs. You'd be like, wait a minute, that sounds like Kenny Rogers in the background.
Yeah.
And then it starts expanding. And by the time I went to Kentucky State, I went to HBCU. So most of the people that came to Kentucky State were from Detroit, Chicago.
Wow.
Ohio. So it's like you're hearing all this music.
All of it.
I gotta give a shout out to Big Tate. Big Tate was like the DJ. Everybody was like, because people who said, "Oh, Mars, you didn't DJ much in college as much," because Big Tate held it down. He was from Detroit and he played everything, but mostly Detroit house music. So you were hearing all of that, and then of course, I mean, like I said, jazz, since hip hop is all it's influx. So that's how I got really into it.
Let me ask you a question, Lamars. Do you feel a way that DJs today may not possibly be putting in the work that you did back in the day? The fact that you like vinyl, then we go digital and controller boards and everything. It's so digital, so different today. Do you feel a way? Do you feel that their style is still going to be authentic and unique?
No, it's to be blunt, no, it's not authentic. But I think but I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
I mean it's kind of like this. It's like I spin Serato, but I love touching vinyl.
Yeah.
I love going out and buying and finding that original record.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's a different feeling also going into a record store, flipping through, finding the record, and then going online and just Google this and find it.
Right.
And then there was a time period where I was kind of like a little bit like it's messed up because there's some DJs that like I know that they would come to my sets, and this is when the onslaught of like Shazam came around. They'd be like Shazam, 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 and then you go into their set and you're like, oh wow, because of Serato they're playing the exact same sound.
Right.
And but the thing is, you just grow. First of all, there's millions of records out there, so you just find more. So I'm not really,
I think
mad about it anymore.
Yeah, I think the time of that has probably passed. There was definitely a few years when the digital mixing tools started to become more widely used that I think a lot of people were upset. It wasn't just the DJs, it was also fans. Like I know for me, I was like, get that digital stuff out of here. Like you're not a real DJ. Like and I was just dancing. You know what I mean? But I had respect for those DJs who were, you know, carting around records and who were like literally mixing things in a way that took a certain skill. But I think now that there's become the repopularization of vinyl, we're kind of over it now. I think that people respect the vinyl craft, the vinyl techniques, you know, and it's, I don't know, I think that it's over the whole
I think it is too.
battle between the two now.
I was actually going to touch on it's along that is it's like I call it like almost like strange enough like the DJ Premier factor.
Okay.
And you follow me on follow me on
I'm gonna follow.
So you know, DJ Premier does a set where he's actual playing the originals that he sampled for his production before he goes into the song.
Awesome.
Now, Can a new DJ do that? No. See,
you're saying he has the original on vinyl.
More just original on vinyl. It's his life.
His knowledge.
It's
his life.
Like for example, no DJ can spin my knowledge of what I know. Now, you can try to duplicate, you can try to copy it, but you can't. You can even look at my records and try to spin it like me. But it's like there's something way that like I know how to do it.
Well
he
said.
sure can't spin those records. He sure can't put them together.
A recipe. Not everybody's got my recipe. Not everybody can do it. Not everybody can cook.
I like it. I like it.
So you can buy the same ingredients.
You can buy the same ingredients, but everybody's potato salad is not going to taste the same, even with that recipe. So it's the exact same situation.
It's true.
It's true. Now the thing about it is that I think that DJs and artists, all of them have to be careful. Is like, you know, social media has a way of making you appear better than you are. You know, you can photograph some potato salad, that mug look good. You take a bite and you're like,
yeah.
You don't want to throw up. And that's what happens when I see a lot of DJs, and that's the problem I have with a lot of I would say a lot, but some DJs out there is it's like, boy, you look really great on that Instagram photo. You know what I'm saying? With the cool outfits and
the pose.
The pose. You know, you have your very expensive equipment that you use or whatever, but your DJ set sounds terrible. And it's like they concentrated on the wrong aspect of the recipe.
Right.
So you have to be careful what you cooking.
To bring it all together.
To bring it all back
together.
You know.
I'm gonna ask you guys. Talk to me about. Shante is laughing.
He cracks me up. This is one of the things I love about being connected with Lamarson
and Carlton. They are funny. You guys keep people in stitches all the time. For the culture.
Yep.
That's hot.
Next level events.
Come on, talk to us about that. Yeah. That's hot. I saw the letter on there. Come on.
Well, that was where I would say the where we talked about before, where I mentioned before about how when you're doing with Slo Mo, a lot of the people that we work with, they'll have projects and they'll say, you know, I was like, okay, we need to be involved.
Yeah. Don't you love that?
And
I love that.
And see, the one thing that a lot of people know is like I've done festivals. I've been doing like actually a jazz festival for like this will be like the third year, and which I didn't bring Slo Mo into that because it wasn't what we're doing. It's in another state, you know.
Right.
But when this was just like this is right up our alley.
Yeah.
This is something we can go, and you know, Craig was on our show and his events been made. He's been a client of mine, been a friend of mine. He's and this festival is something that more than just Slo Mo can get behind. But I think that like our city, we brought this up several times, and there are artists that every time they come to Atlanta, it's like they can sell out. They don't have to have an album.
Yeah.
They can sell
It's
out.
true.
Yeah,
It's
that's
true.
true.
Just by virtue of who they
Yeah,
are.
who
Or
they
Sean
are.
Patterson, Avery Sunshine, Avery lives here, Layla Hathaway.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain other people like also that Craig has going on. It's like, and I would say even with Ken too. It's like, you know, a Roy Ayers always does well. Omar always does well. Somebody like Eric Roberson, they always do well. So this was a wonderful fit for us to help put our knowledge of music and marketing.
Yeah.
And
I mean, and
help
really, with Avery, Layla, and Rasan Patterson,
right.
excuse me, you cannot go wrong. Like,
No.
it's just going to be a good
It's a great
show.
mix.
It's a great mix.
It's a great mix.
And then Wolf Creek has
Yep.
been doing some interesting things.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about that
Yep.
venue on the show, and you know, Lamar, it's I think it can be like the go-to spot for some of the reunion style shows, but there's a market, and that's
yeah.
a good thing.
I think that, well, see, one thing too is like, you know, I've been fortunate enough to work, like I said, we've been fortunate enough to work in media in Atlanta for a while. And with knowing the little aspects about Wolf Creek was under contract forever with you know, with major forces and
Yeah.
major entities, where it's like it was hard for like, you know, for like a promoter like a next level event to get in.
Yeah.
You're in contract, you got to stick with these people, you know.
Right,
you got-
right.
So this opens up doors
That's great.
for
everybody.
artists
For-
and for other people, and you know, to hear this music that, well, first of all, the music that we already love. It's
Yeah.
like you know,
Yeah.
and it's like, and I want to give props, you know, to you know, like to 102.9, to Magic, all these
Magic,
stations
yeah,
who
Magic,
are
big time.
coming along with, you know, like Magic is one of the sponsors of this, and also with 102.9, which works with Hot Ice Live a lot, just because of you know, I feel like they're investing into the culture.
Yes.
And you know, I'll be blunt. I didn't feel like that people were doing that for years. We would talk about it a lot on the show.
Yeah.
That they were investing in, but I think it goes back into one thing too, is the music is timeless.
Yeah.
You know,
And knowing your core people.
you know
That's
your core
it.
people.
That's
You
it.
know your core audience, and it's like,
Yeah.
say for example, if like I said, a Roy Ayers come perform, people,
Oh man.
it's gonna sell out. People gonna come.
Yes.
Right.
Roy almost what? He almost 80 years old. Why is it? How are people?
Because
supporting
it's
this?
timeless.
It is timeless.
It's timeless.
Timeless music. So
My
and
life,
so
my
that's
life,
what
my
you
life,
want.
my
That you want that. You want a good foundation. You know. So
I'm just glad that
I'm
we
excited
get to,
about that.
Yeah.
for the event. You know, Craig has been incredibly supportive
Hasn't
of
he
the
been
show.
one of the
I
most
mean,
people
just-
frequent on your show?
Come
Right?
on, him and but our number one
Who's the number
returning
one?
Ron Smith,
Ron
Ron.
Smith. Ron Smith.
Ron. Okay, I knew it was one of the two. It was Ron or Craig.
featured guest.
Shouts out to
there's-
both of those guys. I like them both.
There's certain people who I would say that have been on the show a lot. Ron Smith, Craig, Ken, Cameron Corvée.
Yeah.
And like I said, these are people who were constantly.
Yes,
the show.
constantly,
Michelle
constantly.
Michelle Dawes-Burt.
No, I was always an studio audience member with Bonnie.
Yeah.
I'm a member. I was like,
yeah.
because I was always excited learning the craft. I was learning the craft. I
Yes,
caught the
yes,
bug from you
yes.
guys.
Hey,
if
good.
my voice could sound as good as Shantae,
Oh
I'd
my
be
goodness.
making a
You're-
lot.
You're
of
winning
money.
because you have that little tinge of New York.
I do.
That
It's never
that
going
is
away.
So, but and it's just so
like,
it's
hey, yo, what's
great.
up?
Like it's a little just a little something
It's
that I like.
never going away.
I love it. I love it. I don't want it to.
How can people find you guys? First of all,
Yeah.
how can they get their tickets for the culture? Tickets on sale?
Tickets. Let's see. October 5th is the
The
show.
show.
And so
Should we just follow Next Level Events on
that.
Instagram
Also,
to
they have a
keep
website.
up?
You can go for the. I think it's is it for the culture.
for the culture music fest maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Musicfest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, you can go there. You can get the tickets through there. You just click on the link and boom, it'll go
And
right there.
and then how can people find you
I'm
guys?
looking right now just
The
to
Slo Mo
confirm, but yes.
Team. How can people find you individually or as a group?
You can actually go to slomoatl.com. It's been around for a while.
Okay.
And our individual pages.
Yeah. I'm at Shantae Says, CHANTESEZ
On the gram.
on the gram. And that's I I don't. I
You're not
am
a
not good
Facebooker?
with the Facebook. I'm not.
You're at Grammar.
I am. And going back to For the Culture, I want to make sure that people know this. It's a bit.ly link. So it's bit.ly, bit.ly,
Okay.
and then / For the Culture Music Fest.
Gotcha.
If you follow For the Culture Music Fest on Instagram, you can find all the information.
Gotcha.
And I'm, if you're on Instagram, which you also.
I can never tag you and stuff.
Well, yeah. It's
Hence why DIY will be important to help us understand how to use social media platforms as creatives, musicians, and artists.
No, you can
Did
tag
I say
me.
that right? I plugged it right?
Yes. I can be tagged. It's like I always have to approve the tag.
That's
So yeah. So it's at Lamarrous, which is LARMARROUS. The problem is a lot of people forget the first R. The first R is just stuck in there. It doesn't make sense. But it's at Lamarrous, and if you go to Facebook and you put Lamarrous, the rest of it will come up.
It comes up.
Shirley, which is Shirley is my last name.
Mm-hmm.
And Slo Mo is on Facebook.
Slo Mo's on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's Slo Mo.
Yeah, it is.
And
Mo Audio is on SoundCloud, SoundCloud and iTunes.
Yep, and so we're all there, and then Carlton's on.
Yes.
Hargrove C.
Yeah,
If you want to look him up.
Yeah, if you want to check him out. But
he's worth checking.
But yeah, we're all on social media.
Yeah, doing your thing. Doing your thing.
Yes.
This was nice.
Man, you're the best, Michelle. Thank you for having us
Yes,
on. I feel like this is the one time that we actually get to be interviewed as opposed to the other end of it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
We ramble though. We tend to ramble.
No,
I tend to ramble.
You guys have a conversation.
The thing is funny is like when we do Mo Audio, it's almost like Shanti's always having to like bring us back.
Yeah, she does. She does a very good job.
We ramble. Carlton and I.
Shantae does
but
a
that's what
very
makes
good
it
job.
so much fun.
I know.
You know what it reminds me of, and I'll say this real quick. It reminds me of like, say if like Carlton and I are like these two detectives.
I was thinking Mod Squad.
And she's like the lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It could be that like New York Undercover, like you guys.
She's like
she's a
Okay.
Yeah, you are.
I can dig that.
Okay.
I can dig it.
Okay, well that's my time with the Slo Mo Team.
Yeah.
I had a good time. This was good. It's very informative. I like you guys. I want to wish you guys nothing but continued success in everything that you do. Keep doing what you do for the culture because we need it. We need it. We're paying attention. We need it. We need it. We need it. You guys are the conduit because a lot of us don't know where to go, who's hot, who's not. So it's almost like if you say it, it's almost so.
Oh,
it's almost so. We listen.
And if you go to slowmoatl.com, we have events listed. So,
See,
you can do that.
See, thank you. So we'll know what to do because it's not always about going to the same places all the time. Some of us want to broaden our horizons and listen to different type of music and be tied into the culture. Because guess what? Some of us have children or nieces and nephews, we just still want to be pertinent. We don't want to be 1 foot in the ground yet. We still want to know what's going on. So keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much. For me, you guys know where to catch me. I am everywhere. I want to thank everybody that came out to the Vibe yesterday at Buteco.
Oh, how was it?
It was nice. Yes.
That's big up, Michelle. That's really
like
really
that.
Cool.
We're back and doing a monthly, so to speak. I think we're going to do it once a month, maybe every other month, maybe once a quarter. We don't know, but we thank Buteco. We thank everybody that came out to support us. It's all about networking, socializing, and getting inspired. So it's always about that. We have some more events coming up. Of course, we have some workshops for time management and financial management because the year's not done. So we got some more work that we have to do before the year is out. And for those of you who have not started planning for your new year, you need to start thinking about it sooner than later because it's coming. Another thing too, we talked about collaborations and partnerships, and when people say come on board, join me, work with me, I like what you do, and hey, yay, that's me. So I'm a strategic partner with Hot Ice Live. Yes. And as we talked about it, Roy Ayers is coming to town. He will be at City Winery on July 30th and 31st. So please get your tickets.
And I'm one of the DJs.
That's right.
And I haven't been to City Winery.
That's right.
Yet.
So you have a reason. So he has a reason to be there, and she has a reason to be there. So it's going to be good. Pick your poison one night or the other. We don't care. It's going to be quality for both nights. Come and see Legendary Warriors. Hot Ice Live presents. We will be in the place for that.
That's awesome.
So for me, if you want to know what I'm doing, go to the website realchicksrock.com. We are streaming on several different platforms. We thank Status Network for giving us the time and the space. We're on with them with Roku. We're on Urban Music Channel. We're on the On Channel. We're streaming on Pandora, iTunes, iHeartRadio. We're on internet radio stations. So if you want to see the listing, please go to the website because I can't say it all in the time span that we have. We give thanks for everything we do. Thank you for supporting us. Until next time, you take care and continue to rock on. Bye.
celebrate myself. I do. I adore me. Yeah.
Good afternoon and welcome to RCR Presents Real Discussions. I'm your host for today, Michelle Dusbird, and this is my second interview for today. I'm super excited. We're doing a doubleheader today because there's just so much great things going on into the city of Atlanta that I was trying to make sure I gave everybody an opportunity and a platform to just share what they're doing. And so I'm just thankful that everybody's been flexible with their schedules and working with me so that I can do it. Today is no different. I'm super excited as I always am on every show. But today's show, what you're going to see is a recording of my conversation with the founder of Funk Jazz Cafe, Jason Orr. Jason is a very talented and busy individual. And I was very honored to be able to spend a few moments with him last Sunday at Buzz Cafe and Wine House in Cascade Heights. We had a conversation talking about 25 years of Funk Jazz Cafe. We want to congratulate him on everything that he's been doing, that he's done in those 25 years, the artists, the music, the spoken word, everything that he's done, his forward thinking, everything. It's just so much that he's done. And so we're very happy for him and we want to congratulate him for everything that he's done. I had the opportunity of talking to Jason about 2 years ago. And to this day, people stop either myself or Jason and say that they really appreciated that conversation that we had. It was very informative. We talk a little bit about that in our conversation that you're going to see today. He has had the opportunity to work with so many different artists that when he talks about some of them, it takes his breath away. And so we just want to congratulate Jason for everything that he's done for the culture, for the community, for Atlanta. We wish him nothing but continued success in everything that he does. If you have not gotten your ticket for Funk Jazz Cafe, shame on you, shame on you. That is happening next month. August 10th is the time. Tabernacle is the place. You need to have your ticket to be there to see the ending of an era, a quarter of a century of somebody doing some great things for the culture. So without any further ado, here's my conversation with Jason Orr celebrating 25 years of Funk Jazz Cafe. And welcome to Real Chicks Rock Presents Real Discussions. I'm your host for today's show. Super excited. Today we're in a different location. We want to just kind of funk jazz some things up a bit. Just do a little things a little different today and take my guests out of the studio. Just let them be out and do things themselves. I had the opportunity to
I've come a mighty long way where I used to be, and I celebrate my life, yes, and I celebrate all the love, yes, and I celebrate all of you. Had a conversation.
We're in a different location. We want to just kind of jazz the things up a bit, just do a little things a little different today and take my guests out of the studio, just let them be out. I think it's good with you. I had the opportunity to talk to this gentleman, say about maybe 2 years ago. We had a conversation. It was really good, very informative, and it was time to bring the guy back because this year is a monumental year for my guests, and we're going to get into that shortly. For the new listeners and for everybody that's checking us out, welcome. Thank you so much for checking us out, listening, liking, commenting, and sharing. I want to give a little background as to what Real Chicks Rock is all about. We're all about the empowerment of women, and we do it through various different vehicles and platforms, and today is no different. We do community service and public speaking. We love the arts and we love the media, and it allows us this opportunity to talk to insightful creatives like we have today. Today my guest is the founding father, right, curator, creator, none other than Jason Orr of Funk Jazz Cafe. Jason, welcome. I like you, Jason. I like you, and I find this to be an honor for you to be here. When we broke bread about 2 years ago, you really just shared a lot of your experiences, like being in Atlanta as a young person, just seeing how things evolved and changed. And I want to touch back on that a little bit, because when I see you in public, you point me out, you say, that's the girl that interviewed me, you go check that out. That's the whole story right there. And we had a wonderful time, because as you reflected on some of your experiences, it was giving you chills as we were talking. So I'm excited that we got some time today to bring you back and just talk about honor for you to be here. When we broke bread about 2 years ago, you really just shared a lot of your experiences, life being in Atlanta as a young person, just seeing how things evolved and changed. And I want to touch back on that a little bit, because when I see you in public, you point me out, you say, that's the girl that interviewed me, you go check that out. That's the whole story right there. And we had a wonderful time, because as you reflected on some of your experiences, it was giving you chills as we were talking. So I'm excited that we got some time today to bring you back and just talk about some more things again.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Born and raised in Atlanta, you've seen a change, Jason. So you've seen a lot of changes.
Yeah, we're here in the West End in the new establishment
Yeah.
in the gentrified West End.
Yeah, gentrified.
Is this black owned?
Yeah, this is black owned. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Glad to be
Yeah.
getting into that space.
Yeah, we're getting in that space. We are here at Buzz Coffee and Wine House, which is a black-owned and operated location here in West End. It's very nice. The people are really sweet. I wanted us to be comfortable as we talk about, the arts and music and your creative style and sense and things that you're doing. 2 years ago, we talked, like I said, and we broke some bread, and we really took it back from the beginning. But I want to talk about why you're here today. Today is one of the reasons, the main reasons, is that Funk Jazz Cafe is celebrating its 25th anniversary. 25 years. That's a long time, Jason.
It definitely is a quarter of a century.
Quarter of a century of making people feel a certain way, musically.
Yeah.
Just the music scene in Atlanta was so hot. Was it that you being a young dancer and being involved in the scene, you just felt like this was a lane, an opportunity to create something like this?
A lot of it was all of that, as well as opportunities opening up to create platforms for my friends, pretty much. We were young 20s when I started. I was 23. And then I knew Raglan Bailey, 47s, and Favorite Blues. Those are visual artists, as well as I was managing a band that Lil John Roberts, the drummer, was in, Maynard Jackson III was in, a bunch of good talents. So I wanted to create a platform for that. If you remember our last conversation, I was managing artists like Mike and he was one of the first to have that straight savvy soul stuff mastery in their community. So I feel very honored to hear that, being the one to have done that for him. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. 25 years ago, Jason, what was it that sparked this idea for you? Was it just the music scene in Atlanta was so hot? Was it that you being a young dancer and being involved in the scene, you just felt like this was a lane or an opportunity to create something like this?
A lot of it was all of that, as well as opportunities opening up to create platforms for my friends, pretty much. We were young 20s when I started. I was 23. And I knew, Muhammad Pickle and Radcliffe Bailey and Maurice Evans and Fabian Williams. Those are visual artists, as well as I was managing a band that Lil John Roberts, the drummer, was in, and Maynard Jackson III was in. A bunch of good talents. So I wanted to create a platform for that. If you remember our last conversation, I was managing an artist named Benny Bernard.
Yes.
And he was one of the first to have that street savvy soul sound. This is well before D'Angelo and Maxwell, and all these others, Erica Badu and Jill, that we know today that put a little hip hop groove and sing over the top. And he wasn't really trying to do hip hop. He just had this was that Tribe Called Quest
Gotcha.
era that was merging jazz and fusion
Yes.
with hip hop.
Yes.
And so that's what he was doing, but he was making great songs. And so I was doing things at his shows that would eventually become Funk Jazz Cafe Arts and Music Festival.
Okay. All right.
I just saw a need then and there that, at those shows I would have vendors and I would have another room, experience room of something else.
Okay.
And so it started that way. And I was like, I could rebrand this or I could brand this as opposed to just be doing this show for you.
Right.
I had that kind of attitude too. 'Cause I did feel like those cats at that time were appreciating what I was doing for them. Shit, today, some of them cats really don't appreciate what I've done for them or doing for them. So it's one of the reasons, I think 25 years is enough.
It's enough, right?
Yeah.
And you talked about that the last time we met. You said, Michelle, when we hit 25, that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I put together a show, an experience that displays Black excellence in the creative arts.
Okay.
As much as I can.
Okay. Okay.
And I've done a good job. You don't go 25 years being mediocre with folks.
No.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited about August 10th.
Okay.
What people will see.
And we're glad you're doing it here in Atlanta because Funk Jazz was a national situation. So you were touring and going to different cities. You were bringing it to other cities. And you could have easily done that in closing out your 25 years.
Oh,
but
yeah, like Tom Joyner.
Yeah.
But, that's an expensive package. And another reason is this, it's very hard to find funding, Somebody said, when you used to be underground, I did this interview yesterday, it was like, you used to be underground. I was like, shit, I'm still underground. In a sense, because if it's not on the radar where people are calling me and saying, hey, we want to be a part of what you're doing. We recognize that you've been seeing thousands of people consistently, and the right demographic at that, with disposable income,
Right.
and who are looking for new music, new brands, new products, new technology, new fashion, etc. We want to put our brand in front of that. It's not been happening.
Yeah.
My biggest supporter financially this year is going to come from a lady that just like to fund nonprofits.
I need her number.
You do.
I need her name and number.
And I'm definitely going to introduce her because I think it's a good thing, and it's also a testament to the commercial market.
Right.
If people aren't going in the boardroom and say, you need to get with Funk Jazz Cafe, man, that's what's happening. It's a lot of companies lack those visionaries. They say, you know what, there's something over here that's been consistent, it's been working, we should get behind that, make it even more powerful, and be a part of that rise with it.
Right.
Much like how Red Bull, an energy drink, got into Red Bull Music Academy. And, different things that have nothing to do. Well, I was about to say nothing to do with the energy drink, but that energy drink is what fuels people, and then they say this is what they do creatively. Here we got an award-winning documentary movie.
Yes.
And me, myself, I'm one that I think others would want to get behind as a Renaissance man. I also produced the Maynard Jackson movie.
Yes, you did.
I got others.
You do.
Yeah, and some things I did with a docuseries I did with Speech called The Nigga Factory. How the machine and the industry turned our folks into something that celebrates worthlessness and degrading to women, and etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the music.
Yeah.
In the Diary of a Decade, our movie starts with a statement that you'll always know the condition of the people by what's reflected in their music.
That's right.
So this music today, you really
Come on now, I'm
can't
about
play
to drop
with
the
your,
mic. Come on.
with your grandmama at the
Yeah.
cookout. You know? That's the truth.
Yeah, Jason, we're going to talk about the movie side as well. I want to ask you this because in our conversation today, you were sharing about you really curated this idea really for your friends to give them a platform. So, what sparked having nationally known musicians and artists to be a part of it? When did you get that idea to?
They were my friends.
They were. They were your friends?
Yeah.
All right.
And you know, they would tell you, like when I first sat with Michelle and Cello in 1995 with Vinnie Bernard at a brunch, she was like, you know, it's this guy named D'Angelo. You need to hear
Got
him.
you.
And that moved into the next thing.
Got you.
Or when Badu came, Bilal was singing backup for her. And I liked the little guy.
Yeah.
You know,
I like him too.
he was
Yeah.
weird.
They could sing. There's something about the way you sing.
But he was quiet when he wasn't singing. And you knew it was something in his mind that was working.
Yeah.
Along with a great curiosity.
Yes.
So, you know, I vibe with people that most don't vibe
Yeah,
with.
yeah. You're good. You're
I mean,
good.
it just snowballed.
It just snowballed.
Yeah.
And it just got
some other
big.
things. And then I started realizing that sense of purpose right at the start.
Yes.
You know, like
Okay.
everybody can't do this. This is for me to do. And it's proven shit after 25 years. That do we see another
Yeah.
similar funk?
I was
jazz
just
cafe
gonna ask
arts
you
in
that,
Utah?
yeah.
I see some imitators, which I
Okay.
did create it for people to imitate.
Okay.
The business model.
Okay.
You know, so that we can go into other cities and the culture will be rich like that. You know, but didn't necessarily happen like that.
Okay. Are those imitators still around? Are those shows still in existence?
Not all.
Not all.
No. Some that tried to help and consult. I mean, and then some of the corporations tried to take it, like the Heineken Red Star Soul and the Tanqueray Soul Suite and Levi's Self-Engineered Tour and all of those things. You remember, you know, Coca-Cola would have a commercial with Donnie,
Yeah.
The Roots,
Yeah.
you know, somebody else, I can't remember. What's something James? Leela James?
Neela James.
Yeah, just those type of things. So they were on it. It was a wave that the modern soul movement would take off, but it got pigeonholed once they started calling it neo soul.
Yeah.
It was like that's some stuff over there.
Yeah.
That's not the progression of black music.
Right.
That's just something that they do, and it's over there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love the way you term it and coin it as progression of black music.
Oh, it clearly was.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Van Hunt was the progression of Sly Stone and Curtis Mayfield.
Yes.
You know, D'Angelo was also the progression of Curtis Mayfield and Sly Stone and Prince. And Maxwell was the progression of Prince.
Yes.
You know, people who saw these legends and admired them but added their own thing to it. I mean, Lauryn Hill was pigeonholed.
Yeah.
And she wasn't really even quote unquote neo soul. She just did a soul record as a hip hop artist.
Yeah, she did.
Won album of the year for it.
Yeah.
She was a big star, but somehow got neutralized.
Right.
And I often say that these cats are in anxiety because, you know, the music business is a hard business.
It is.
And then when you're looking at, when you are the property, you know, your look, your image, all of that can drive you into anxiety. You remember Kanye went to TMZ and he said, I'm getting liposuction because of y'all. That's real.
Yeah.
He can't, you know, come out fat belly and, you know,
He can't be himself.
and be himself.
Yeah.
Bobby Brown can't do it,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
He can, they could, but it just, the public is so judgmental. Even our own people.
Yeah, they are.
It's like, oh, you're fat now.
I know.
Yeah.
But you've been able to stay Jason for 25 years,
Yeah.
being in the public eye, and still you have you're a private person when you need to be. But you've been able to maintain. What keeps you rooted?
Juice.
Ju-
Sorrel. Well, you know, a self-mastery practice
Okay.
is required.
All right. All right.
A daily
Yes.
self-mastery practice
Okay.
is required.
Okay.
And it does keep you young and vibrant
Okay.
and excited about future ideas.
Gotcha.
And so, you know, that's the thing with where I am now. You know, it's evolution, it's evolving. You know, my ideas and things I want to do. And I want to make some more money too.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Yeah, but really, I'm at the beginning. This is on your show. This whole music festival shit
Yeah.
is gonna die.
Okay.
Take it from the guy who's done a music festival and hadn't announced the talent
Okay.
in 25 years.
Right.
That comes from looking at the future and forecasting.
Okay.
And you're going to be left to artificial intelligence and holograms.
Come on now.
So this whole thing, you know, you saw the culture of festivals come in where they list the headliner talent, and then the lesser knowns are at the bottom.
Bottom. Yeah.
There's a music festival here that's got some people on the top and some legends like at the bottom. It's like, wow, you know, that's where we are now.
That's where we are.
You know, but when you think about the cost of the same music festival has a payment plan for a ticket.
I know.
A payment plan.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We'll help you get this ticket.
Right,
Plan.
right.
It's like layaway. But you know, everything's gone up except our income.
Right. Agreed.
You know, so is it hard to project that? Okay, people like these music festivals. They like the artists. They like the music. But you know, when the price is too high to go to it, and then you're just going to see Cardi B and Lil Yachty, like Midtown Music Festival. That's already saying we don't care about you or your people.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the people that white folks like too.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the black talent that white folks like too. But we don't necessarily care about what you're doing. This is a celebration of white music. You know what I'm saying?
Or music
They also
loved by
have a
white
payment
people.
plan for theirs, their tickets.
Yeah.
But you know, you don't care to go see it. You know, and the majority of this vibrant group, I'm telling you, is 45 to 54.
Yes.
The age.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, these are people with disposable income. They have a sense of the generations before them and their mother's generation, their grandmother's generation, have a great admiration for cultural preservation, cultural education. Younger groups don't seem to care about being educated about what came before them.
Right.
They're like, what's new and what's now? And be like, that's going to run out.
Yeah.
That's going to run out. Again, you can always tell the condition of the people by what's reflected in their music. So where are we?
Yeah. We're not in a good space.
And a lot of people are very hopeful, like, oh, that'll change. You're like, no.
You don't think so?
What has gone back?
True.
People are like, we need to bring this back. We need to do that again. We're like, what has gone back?
Yeah.
Nothing's gone backwards. Time and life evolves to places that you are familiar with and unfamiliar with. So either get your right mind together and go with the current
Yeah.
of the ocean, or drown. It looks like there's a lot of folks going to drown.
So the timing of you having 25 years, you couldn't have scripted better.
Couldn't have scripted better. No, this is our 50th festival, our 25th year. I'll be 50 next year.
Awesome. Couldn't have scripted better.
I do feel like I'm pulling out of this aspect of it. I will be doing Funk Jazz Cafe Festival cruises because of that age group, 45 to 54. I looked at one of those Facebook stats the other day when you have an event page and everybody that's responding to them. And our 60 plus bracket is bigger than our 18 to 24. I'm saying we don't have no interest in this Funk Jazz Cafe Arts and Music Festival. It's
At all.
legacy.
Yeah.
Who's there? I like some of the people.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't care.
Yeah.
It don't look appealing to them.
Yeah.
You know.
And we had a gentleman that came through just minding his business. He saw Jason come in with his shirt and he got all excited. He said, "You doing something back there with Funk Jazz Cafe?"
Yeah.
That's what he said. I said, "Well, come on back here and meet Jason. Meet the founder of it. Meet him, shake his hand, get to know," because he was all excited.
Yeah.
And Jason, you asked him how old he was. He was over 50.
Yeah.
So that goes to your point.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
why I asked. Because
Yeah.
all week I've been looking at that, and then like I show my team and be like, "Look at this, guys. This is what we're doing."
Yeah.
You know, we can spend less time appeasing